It's Jacobus RC, and today we have a special video. I finally got around to using my 3D printer to print out some printed parts, and in this case, this is what I got. What you're looking at here are 3 different styles of 3D printed thumb steers. I'm gonna go over each one of them, show you guys how they all work, their differences, pros and cons, and at the end I'll show you guys where to actually get the files to print them. And if you don't have a 3D printer, that's all right, because there are websites where you can go online and buy these, already 3D printed and shipped to your home. So stay tuned for that. So let's get started. All right, so you might be thinking, why do I even need thumb steers if I have 2 hands? Well, for me, I'm shooting this video to get these cool shots. I kind of need one hand to hold the camera and then one hand to hold the radio controller. So for me, they're pretty useful. For you guys back at home, you might not be making YouTube videos, but you still post online on Instagram, on Facebook, send a text message to your friends, get phone calls while you're out bashing. You can pick one up with one hand and then you can shoot a video with the other or get a call on the other hand. And I find that at least one of these over here is pretty handy. Even if you're using 2 hands, it gives you a better grip. So let's get started. We'll go left to right. Okay, so here what you're looking at, we're gonna give these code names starting off with this guy. So this is the Mickey Mouse grip here. I love this design. This one is one of my favorites. I actually used this on my last video. I'll show you guys how it went, but yeah, this is the first one I 3D printed. Second one here is called, I'm gonna name it the nuts and bolts, and you'll see why in a second. You basically need a nut and a bolt to complete this one. This one's also a pretty cool design. We'll touch on this one in a bit. And then this one right here, I'm gonna put it up like this. This is the melted hockey stick. You can see it looks like a hockey stick, but it's melted on the back end, obviously to fit the wheel on your radio controller. So let's go back to this Mickey Mouse real quick. We'll start off with this one. This one has a pretty sturdy design, so that's a pro. Another pro is it's got obviously the Mickey Mouse design. I love it. And these knobs here are kind of massive, so really gives you that good thumb grip wherever you place it, up top, down below, in the middle. One of the cons though is that it kind of has this fixed circle. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but there's a slit right there, but it's pretty sturdy. It doesn't move. So if your wheel is smaller or bigger than this on your radio controller, you're pretty much screwed. And like I mentioned earlier, this is one that I tested out on my last vid, and it didn't really go that well. I'll put up some clips of it, but it kind of takes a little bit getting used to steering and driving with one hand. So yeah, I ended up crashing it with this Mickey Mouse one that I 3D printed. So it's already got, I'm already docking some points off of this one. By the way, while I'm reviewing this, let me know which one's your favorite. Is it this Mickey Mouse? Is it the other 2? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think while I'm going through these. It's a perfect fit for this one, but I'll show you guys. This is on my DHK Hobby Hunter, this radio control. The wheel is too small for this, so it doesn't work. Like I mentioned, it does have like this fixed circle that you can't really change, so you're pretty much screwed if your wheel isn't the same kind of circle size or diameter of this. So let's put it back on over here and power this thing on, and I'll show you guys just me using it real quick. I'm getting a good kind of grip here, but the wheel on this controller is kind of far away from where your grip is. So yeah, let's just quickly use it here. And so I'll put the controller here, just steering left and right. It's pretty tricky because you can't get a full kind of steering lock with this unless you really position your hand kind of awkwardly, but it does the job. I mean, I'm steering here pretty easily. It'll be much easier if I wasn't kind of commentating and videotaping and driving. So if I was just using one hand, this would work just fine. But I guess it's just me trying to get used to this. But yeah, it really does work. So next up on the list, or coming down the row here, we got the nuts and bolts. You can see whoever came up with this, you know, they were pretty smart, I guess, in the design. They got this open wheel design here that you need a nut and a bolt to kind of close and get that good grip. So that's pretty smart because you can actually fit it on bigger wheels. Smaller wheels, it's a little bit tough. You can kind of squeeze it a little bit, but they're definitely thinking something through. You can also see there's these kind of 3 grooves right here. Gives you a little bit better grip. And the design too is, you know, same thing. It's sturdy. This one took the second longest to print. This one took the longest, meaning they're using more material inside to kind of build these up. So yeah, this one, I like it a lot. So pros, it's got that, you know, nut and screw, screw and nut kind of design. It's got these grooves and it's sturdy. Those are the pros. Cons is, once again, if you have a small wheel, you kind of have to, you know, work with another one or come up with a new design. But I tested this out on the Traxxas, these 3 right here, or these 2 over here, and those radio controllers kind of, those wheels fit on this, so it's good to go. All right, we got the nuts and bolts on there, and it's a pretty sturdy design. I mean, with that nut and bolt, that thing is pretty much on there smooth, and whoever came up with this really thought it through. You can see there's a space at the top for different kind of sized screw heads, and then at the bottom there is a space for the nut to kind of complete the whole mechanism here. But yeah, let's quickly turn this on, get my DHK out, and show you guys how this thing works. Here we go. I mean, I'm already liking this one a lot better. I got full kind of control compared to the Mickey Mouse. Oops, almost crashed that one. You know, that's the tricky part when doing these types of videos. You're paying attention to making sure you got the good, you know, shot in the camera, and then also making sure you're steering it correctly. But overall, I gotta give a 10 out of 10 to this grip right here. It's pretty good. I can go as fast as I want. I'm not worried about it slipping. It's all good. So let's bring this DHK back real quick. Ooh, whoops, was not paying attention there. All right, so you just saw the nuts and bolts working its magic. I gave it a 10 out of 10. What do you guys think about this one? Moving along, we got the melted hockey stick. It's got the most basic design. I had a lot of trouble printing this one, so I'm already docking it points, especially if you're 3D printing this on your own. This design, it's kind of, you know, it's not sturdy, so when it's printing out, the little quick movements from the nozzle of your 3D printer, when it's printing out this stuff here, it kind of shakes. So this thing kind of like falls over and you got to restart all over again. And you got to think this takes, you know, 2 to 3 hours to print. So if you don't check it constantly, you're basically wasting your time. So that's what happened to me. Other than that, I like how big this little section is here. You know, how depending how big your thumb is and how long your thumb is, this is going to give you a lot of area. Bad part is it's flimsy, and you can see there I got some bad quality printing going on, but it's flimsy, it's not sturdy like the other two, and it has an open design, so it doesn't really wrap around your wheel. And you'll see in a second, I tested this out at home, you'll see what I mean. It's an open wheel design, so it's not that great. Let me just quickly set this up again and show you guys, you know, how this one works. So just real quick, I put this on the DHK radio controller, and right off the bat it's a little bit too big. It's hitting on this one, but you can always trim this down to fit your radio. So we're gonna have to use the Fly Sky one that I've been using from my Grasshopper. So let's go ahead and swap this real quick. Pretty simple. You just kind of wiggle it with one hand in here and get it to fit. So yeah, this one is gonna work well down here. I got to reposition it, but yeah, let me do that, get the Grasshopper out, and then I'll show you guys how this works. I already know this is gonna be bad. All right, Grasshopper here, radio here, hockey stick on, and right off the bat, I mean, you can kind of turn left with this, but if you want to turn right, this thing starts to kind of fall off, and the flimsy design doesn't really work that well. So yeah, you can only turn one direction really reliably. Everything else in the other direction, you're gonna have to hope that this thing sticks on. It's already falling off a little bit there. Let's bring the grasshopper back and then head on home. Back inside, guys, over there behind me is the 3D printer that I use to print all three of those thumb steers for myself. If you don't have a 3D printer, that's okay. I'll put some links down in the description for websites where you can actually have someone print these out for you and then ship them for you. So there's shapeways, there's 3D export. You just gotta find them. They won't be the same exact ones that I used. That's because I found them on Thingiverse, which is another website where people upload the files you can print for free. So that's pretty cool. The 3D printing community, especially in the RC car 3D printing community, is pretty large, believe it or not. So there's a lot of stuff people already have up on there for free. And you can also design your own stuff, which is what I'm gonna be doing. I think if I take the hockey stick design, combine it with the nuts and bolts design, and then make it as sturdy as the Mickey Mouse design, that's gonna be our real winner. So stick around for that video, or I might start using it in some of my other videos. But yeah, if you like this content, be sure to subscribe. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next video.